I'm going to say some things that need to be said. I'm going to do that later in this broadcast. But as you know, on our last episode, refocusing on slut shaming, it was to where if you were a woman going to Disney World or Disneyland, you had to follow a dress code policy, meaning you couldn't be wearing stuff that would expose your shoulders or your breasts. Now, this was very similar to her cheerleading uniform, to the cheerleader uniform policy in a different school. And it was to where it's because if we want to search this, I think I remember. Yeah, there it is. There's actually 3 controversies. I mean, isn't it slut shaming or fashion shaming? Take a look. Right, now take a look.
Cheerleaders in Clearwater aren't cheering about a new uniform policy. Countryside High School officials say cheerleaders' skirts are too short for class, and they break a mid-thigh dress code. Our Carson Chambers reports on this from Pinellas County.
Countryside High School cheerleaders say they found out on Friday they won't be able to wear their uniforms on game day to class because they're just too skimpy, even though the school provides them, and they're a tradition.
This is the shell, and then this is the skirt.
Gina Frazier is a cheerleader, and this is her high school team uniform.
I love putting it on. All the cheerleaders do.
She wears garnet and gold to class on game days out of school spirit for Clearwater's Countryside High School.
I've always wanted to wear my uniform. Like in middle school, I was so excited. I see all these like pictures on Facebook of girls that I know that like I used to do junior cougars.
The 15-year-old just made varsity this year. She's only a sophomore, but the tradition she just started to be a part of might already be over.
You hear like the remarks like, oh, why are they wearing that? I mean, well, it's a uniform. I mean, football wears their jerseys, softball gets to wear their like athletic pants and jerseys.
Last game day, as Frazier and her teammates showed their talent and strength on the sidelines, they found out Countryside officials banned their short skirts in class.
There's a dress code in place, and so if a school determines that a certain outfit is not appropriate, then they can ask a student to change or to wear something different. This might include athletic uniforms.
The Pinellas County School District says dress codes can be tailored by school principals. There are other Pinellas high schools doing the same thing.
The girls are there to promote the school. My daughter loves Countryside. She wants this to be a positive thing, and she wants to keep the tradition, and so do I.
But Frazier's mom doesn't want her daughter to miss out on that tradition. She says she's clearly earned.
They're gonna like rip off the button or something and then put Velcro, and so it's gonna be down to here, so the skirt will be mid-thigh. So I think it's just gonna look silly.
The Countryside Cougars have a game on Friday against Lakeland at home, but Frazier isn't sure what she'll be wearing to class that day. In Pinellas County, I'm Carson Chambers, ABC Action News.
Now here's another cheerleader controversy.
Officials say the cheerleaders' uniforms at West Claremont High School are nothing to cheer about. As 9 on Your Side reporter John Genovese shows us, those uniforms now cross a line.
It's the first game of the season. While the rivalry match played out between Amelia and Glen Estee High Schools, Another back and forth, this one involving cheerleaders, other students, parents, and administration about what is and isn't appropriate to wear to class.
The kids are going to hate it. I would hate it when I was that age too.
West Clermont School District officials say this year they're cracking down on the dress code. Among several requirements, it notes tops should be appropriately sized and long enough to cover the midriff. Bottoms can't be tight or loose fitting and must be no higher than the mid-thigh in length.
I think there's a time and place for everything, and at a football game like this, you probably be a little more relaxed, but when you're in a scholastic setting, you probably need to wear something that doesn't distract from the academic focus you should have.
Cheerleaders got word they can no longer wear their uniforms on game day. Amelia Principal Stephanie Walker declined to speak with us on camera, but said one of her main goals this year was to uphold all dress code requirements. The same code, she says, has been in place for years, and all with the goal of protecting her students. Now, we did speak with some parents off camera who were in support of those cheerleaders wearing their uniforms to class. They say if boys can wear theirs, why can't girls do the same? For now, John Genovese, 9 on your side.
So yeah. I mean, if boys can wear like short shirts, why can't the girls do the same for the cheerleaders? I mean, I have to agree with that. Still ahead, the slut shaming story about a girl in Disneyland or Disney World who was told to either wear a shirt or leave because she was in a dress code. But coming up next, cheerleaders are upset that they can't wear pink uniforms in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Stay with us. Imagine as a cheerleader, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, you decided to spray paint your cheerleading uniform pink. Or you want to wear a pink and white uniform. But they say, no. Nope, you can't do that. We understand this, but blah, 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 blah. It's exactly what happened years ago when 12 cheerleaders that were outraged that they say they can't be wearing pink uniforms to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Take a look.
New at 10 tonight. Okay, look at these. They bought these cute pink uniforms. They wanted to wear them all October to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But these cheerleaders from Tampa Bay Tech, they're not going to be able to wear them, and it all comes down to a matter of school district policy.
Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is here in studio. Aaron, what's going on?
Mark and Kelly, this is something that really upset the Tampa Bay Tech cheerleaders and their parents because of the sentiment and the money that went into it. The team raised the funds last year to buy these pink uniforms for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It cost each girl about $100. They wore the uniforms during the football games last October. They planned on doing it again this season, but they can't. A Hillsborough County school spokesperson says the uniforms were never approved in 2014, and the district didn't even know they'd been purchased. We're told all sports teams must wear uniforms provided by the district unless they receive special approval. And while a spokesperson says there are other ways teams can support the cause, some of the girls say the district is being too strict.
Both of our aunts had breast cancer and they're breast cancer survivors, so it's a personal basis for us, but just for everybody. Like, we even had a guidance counselor at Tech who had breast cancer that she overcame, and it's just more of like, we're trying to show them that we support them.
We encourage our schools to accessorize, so you can have pink shoes, pink socks, pink headbands, pink bows, pink wristbands, gloves. So that's how we encourage our students to actually go out there and support and be out there for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
The school district spokesperson says the uniform policy is in place to keep things fair. For example, the district doesn't want schools in upscale communities to be able to go out and get high-end uniforms when other families and schools wouldn't be able to afford them. But these cheerleaders' parents tell us in this case they think there just should have been more wiggle room in the policy, even though the team didn't get approval ahead of time. Mark and Kelly?
Yeah, it's a severe disappointment for them. We are sorry to hear that that's going on.
I know. They're doing it for the right cause, so maybe they can work something out.
Yeah.
It's the right cause. But if I saw that happening in Flower Bluff, and I would be upset. It was like, hey, let's wear pink uniforms to our next game day. Like, okay. And then we forgot to get district approval from the superintendent. The superintendent gives us permission, and all of a sudden, you know what? That's a great idea. We'll let them raise money so and so, $100, blah blah blah. This and this, and that should have been handled. So here's the last one.
Tonight, a uniform fight at Northwest Rankin High School. Yeah, the school decided this week cheerleading and dance team uniforms are no longer appropriate to wear to class on game day. 16 WAPT's Emily Alexander talked to parents who are not happy about this decision.
Parents called 16 WAPT furious.
Why all of a sudden the change in policy?
This week, Northwest Rankin told cheerleaders their uniforms violate the school dress code.
We have to sign papers whenever our girls make cheerleaders for the rules for the year. This was not in the policy. So we don't understand why all of a sudden you can implement that without talking to a parent who has spent $4,000 for her daughter to cheer and have the right to wear that skirt.
The new principal banned cheerleaders and dance team members from wearing their game day outfits in school. From now on, they have to wear pants or knee-length shorts underneath the uniforms.
And it's just absolutely destroying their self-esteem, their self-worth.
Thursday, almost 20 parents showed up at the principal's office, but he told them his decision stands. According to the Rankin County dress code, skirts must be knee-length, but the cheerleading and dance team uniforms we found are not. Parents say it's not just about the uniforms, but that dressing up on Fridays is a long-standing tradition here at Northwest Rankin.
Our mothers got to wear their cheerleader uniforms on game days. That's what this is about. This is tradition.
But some parents agree with the principal. We found posts on Facebook that call the uniforms, quote, practically non-existent these days. Short is not even the term anymore.
But that is a cheer uniform. It's not about modesty when she has on that uniform. That is her uniform.
The principal's new policy will go into place this Friday. In Rankin County, Emily Alexander, 16 WAPT News.
We reached out to both Northwest Rankin and the Rankin County School District, but they did not return our calls. This story is the subject of our Instapoll 16. Do you think cheerleading uniforms should be exempt from school dress code? Vote tonight by calling or texting 601-980-4416. Enter 1 for yes, 2 for no. You can also cast your votes on WAPT.com, Facebook, or Twitter.
And I have friends who used to be cheerleaders, so if they watching this, I'm sorry for throwing you guys under the bus. Because really, I've had old friends from high school who are cheerleaders. I'm not going to name names. But if I start throwing them under the bus, this and that, then all of a sudden, I'm throwing the district under the bus. Yesterday, you've heard me talk about the slut shaming where a woman, a viral video on TikTok talked about a woman who was told to wear a shirt or leave. Up next, I'm going to tell you some things that I have not said on the last episode. And you may be furious about what I have to say. Stay with us. Before we move on to the what I had to say, before we move on to yesterday, picking up where we left off yesterday, here's the last of the cheerleading uniform controversy from years ago.
Policy puts an end to a Friday football tradition.
Local 12 Sydney Benter is in Claremont County to tell us why cheerleaders are no longer allowed to wear their uniforms to class.
The Glen Estee Trojans are taking on their rivals, the Amelia Barons, tonight. But it's the tension that's brewing off the field that's getting a lot of attention. We were contacted by parents who said that their cheerleaders at both schools were told yesterday that they couldn't wear their uniforms to class today. Cheer parents say the girls should be able to show team spirit. Administrators tell us it's just a matter of following school dress code.
Cheerleaders, when they're at the game, at the sporting event, it's very appropriate to wear their uniforms. However, in the school, in the classroom, football players do not wear their pads, they don't wear their gear. Cheerleaders should not be wearing their cheerleading uniforms. at this point.
We called around to other schools in Claremont County, and they all have different policies. Some allow their cheerleaders to wear uniforms on game day. Others, like West Claremont, suggest that the girls wear their warm-ups. In Union Township, Sydney Venter, Local 12 News.
And West Claremont administrators acknowledge that the dress code in the student handbook does need some updating. They'd like to form a committee of teachers and students to make some changes. What do you think about the policy? You can share your comments on the Local 12 News Facebook page.
Here's what I have to say. If the school says you're not allowed to wear it, then wear something over. Wear some jeans. Wear some pants. I understand that it may ruin your self-esteem, but there is no excuse. I'm all about respecting women, period. But there's no but to this. We need to judge a woman by what's inside, not by what they wear. And that's quoting 2.5 Men. All right, last episode, yesterday, we talked about slut shaming. We talked about a viral TikTok video from a woman who went to Disney World in Disneyland and was told, you either wear the shirt or you leave. So, you know what she did? She chose to wear the shirt. But there is more to this. There's more to this story. So if you haven't watched yesterday's episode, let's get you up to speed. So those who missed yesterday's, again, let's bring you up to speed. Because let me tell you something, I hate slut shaming, period. It's sexist and despicable.
Guys, it happened. I got dress coded at Disney and I was told to leave or get a shirt. So now we're getting a shirt.
I didn't do it on purpose. I like this shirt, and the shirt likes me. But Disney does not, and I didn't have a problem with it.
People have their opinions, people have policies.
This is it. Sorry if I offended you guys.
Okay, well, Nicole, thank you for being here. So you were at Disney World, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and how far did you get?
Not far.
Did you get through the gates? Did you get...
Nope. I went to go scan my ticket, and they looked me up and down and said, unfortunately, we can't let you in. Your shirt is not allowed here. You can either buy a shirt, or you can go back to your hotel and change.
Did they give a reason? I mean, was it that
There wasn't a direct reason. I knew there was a dress code. I didn't know exactly what the dress code was until I was dress coded, and I wasn't told until I posted it on social media that the reason was because it was a tie front, it was a safety hazard, that it could either get undone and flash a kid on a ride or get stuck in the ride.
So how ugly did this get in slut shaming?
Within an hour, it received thousands of views, thousands of likes, and people were so quick to assume that I was doing it for the attention, which I wasn't. I was very confident in my outfit, and same with what Nicole said, it wasn't for anybody else. I mean, I was going out to dinner with my family.
Who were you with at that time?
I was with my family, too. So, I mean, I'm a very traditional Filipino household. We respect each other, and I respect myself, and people on the internet took to their assumption that...
What did you think would happen when you... What about other people's feelings? You know, I have to disagree with the term slut shaming, because it basically says that anybody who has a problem or concern with somebody's, private parts hanging out there, is anybody who expresses a concern with that is doing something wrong. Nobody's attacking anybody's character to say
they told her to kill herself.
I hadn't heard that, but I'm talking about in general the term slut shaming.
Yeah.
The idea that if anybody expresses a concern about how somebody's dressing in public, that it's literally sexually provocative. Let's be honest about what these clothing items do. They're sexually provocative, and to tell me just don't look at it when it's out there for the world purposely to see, Why should I have to turn my head? Why should a mother with her children out there in public have to try to avert their eyes from a woman who's got her sexual parts out there?
Do you find that where you have to avert your eyes offensive to your sensibilities?
I find it provocative, sexually provocative. I do. And
I personally would wear that to Sunday brunch with my family. I mean, I was with my family.
And I've already said that I have concerns with seeing young women running around in front of their families with this. I find it inappropriate.
Should you be fashion police for her?
Define fashion police. I don't tell anybody how to dress.
What she wears.
No, I don't believe in laws. I don't believe in me controlling what anybody else is wearing. What I'm talking about is what I would hope a discussion would lead to. Is I'm hoping for a return to societal norms of modesty, because I feel like this is disempowering to women.
Yes, what do you want to say?
We've talked a lot about what it means to dress in a way that feels desirable and that feels attractive. And I think we've seen from all of the women that have spoken today that feeling desirable and feeling attractive does not come from external validation and what other people think, but it comes from a much more internal level. And there was something that was said about women being sexualized, and I 100% agree, women are over-sexualized. However, the solution to fixing that problem is not telling women to cover up, but telling everyone else to stop sexualizing women because of what they decide to wear.
Exactly. So are we gonna tell dogs not to bark? Are we telling dogs not to bark? Men are gonna see your sexual
Well, not all men are like that. I think you're making men into a really broad category. And to piggyback on what she said, it's really maybe a conversation that you should have mother to daughter and expressing your fears on, what you're fearful of what that dressing will lead to, versus woman to woman and shaming someone for their outfit choices.
Do you have...
Agreed. I agree. Completely. I agree completely. But the actual definition of fashion police is not a TV show. The Urban Dictionary defines fashion police is people who make excessive, snide remarks about one's choice of hyper-trendy clothing, especially if it was yesterday's fashion. So if you were to look at my outfit like this, that's fashion police. You're saying, you can't wear that to this show, blah, 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 get out of here. And what about slut shaming? According to Wikipedia, slut shaming is the practice of criticizing people, especially females, who are perceived to violate expectations of behavior and appearance regarding issues with sexuality. The term is used to regain the word slut and empower females to have possession over their own sexuality. It may also used to in reference to gay men who may disapprove to sexual behavior. Slut shaming only happens in heterosexual men. Really? Heterosexual men? I mean, slut shaming happens. It happened back in the 60s and 70s. So, yeah. But, there's a lot more to this slut shaming when we come back. You're gonna meet... You're gonna be seeing another clip about this, and, it's really a hot button issue that just popped up to my attention yesterday. So stay with us. Let's quickly bring you up to speed on the Oxford case. James Jennifer Crumley parents appeared in Oakland County Court yesterday, Friday. This was their first court appearance since Ethan pled guilty on Monday. They were charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Forensic psychologists testified that mass shooters have slowed toward violence. So the trial is set to begin in January, which is about almost a month away, so we'll know then. So that's a quick update. So let's get back to slut shaming. So I'll tell you, because I got a lot to say. And I do mean a lot. A lot. Take a look.
Do you think women dress for themselves?
No, I don't. And I fall into this category too. It's not possible for us to make these individual choices outside of this broader cultural context. And it's going to sound like we're on the same page, but we're kind of not. There's some things I agree with, but I'm not trying to police women. Yes, I want a world where women can wear whatever they want and feel good about it. I want that. We are not there. And so we live in this world where the male gaze is the dominant gaze. And I'm not just saying Dr. Phil's gaze or some man. It's the male gaze, which really portrays, I have to get that part, portrays how men and women are in relation to each other. And the reality is that men have more power right now. And women spend so much time focused on how we want to be seen by others that it's all about our desirability becomes the only thing that matters. And you're doing a business side of things, so you can't just say. So what I really get concerned about are all the young women in the audience that aren't, working in the fashion industry, that aren't consultants, that weren't born naturally looking like some of the women here, that are very privileged in some ways.
But you don't dress for yourself. Who do you dress for, Robin?
Well, I dress for two people. Number one, I dress for myself because I love fashion. And always have. So honestly, number one, I dress for myself. And number two, I dress for you. Oh. Because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to undress for you. I really do love that. But I do dress for you and myself.
And I think that's a good point because disrobing is a part of a sexual experience, a sexual encounter with someone. And why wouldn't we save that for our intimate relationships instead of giving that to every Tom, Dick, and Harry?
I mean, you look at fashion shows, and there are women who are topless wearing, sheer dresses and sheer tops.
It's inappropriate.
Well, to you, but in the fashion world, it's okay.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Hi, we're talking about history. We're talking about culture. We're talking about globally what happens, because there is a correlation between how men have ownership over our bodies and dictating what we should do, and in countries and cultures where they're being forced to dress more, and then there's much more of a type of sanctioning if you don't do that. So yes, I do feel empowered and privileged to be able to live in a culture where I can dress however I want.
Celebrities have they're role models, particularly for a lot of young women. And if you look at what they wear, certainly on the red carpet, and what they wear in public, I mean, we can take a look at some of the things they wear are pretty provocative.
It's just replicating the same tedious versions of feminine sexuality. There's nothing new, and it's conflating nudity with being sexy. And everyone can make their own individual choices, and you can make it. I mean, you want to look like that, great, but it's not.
I think there's a lot of things too, though, that can make a woman sexy, and it is not
I
just
agree, but
her,
these images are all the
body
same.
and what she looks like in clothes.
Well, there's some that I ran across one this morning when we were going through some of these images that I thought, this isn't even a dress. And
the issue is it's the only kind of imagery that we see, and it gets replicated over and over again.
Is that a society issue?
Of course it is, but then we need to.
Well, but this kind of points things in that direction. Do you have a story or a question for me?
Here's the next clip. I hate when I have nothing to say. Just take a look at this.
You say women dressing in revealing attire is not at all about female empowerment.
My concern is when we talk about these things, there was a great comment in the audience from someone who was younger that said, we should have the freedom to dress how we want. We should be able to choose that. Yep, we should. Unfortunately, we live in a world where we don't have that kind of equity right now. And so the empowerment is it's at the individual level. You get to make that individual choice. But what ends up happening is that we replicate the same old stereotypes about what it means to be an attractive woman. And those stereotypes really are derived from male pleasure. It's how can we make ourselves desirable for men?
Yeah, but that may not be where someone is coming from. Like
no,
you say,
it's
that's
not.
where
You're not.
coming
I
from.
know you are not thinking that by any means. The problem is we can't make that choice in this bubble. We don't live in a bubble. We live in this broader world.
Okay, go ahead. Say your name and go ahead.
I'm JC. I had a situation actually back in July. I was on an airplane and I was about to board, and then a lady inside working the airport came up to me and she said, do you have a jacket on you? Can you cover up?
This is what you were wearing, right?
Yeah, that pink shirt. So she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go grab you a shirt. Well, you sit here. You can't board the plane.
Did they say what they thought was going to happen if you got on with that on? Did they think there was going
No,
to
she's
be
like, you can't board the
a
plane.
riot or something?
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know.
Were you allowed to board?
Yep, because no one else had an issue with
Okay, nobody had an issue. But
no one else.
Okay. Now, Nikki, you've always gravitated towards showing more skin.
I have always. So actually that's an interesting point to say I have always, because I remember being a child and wanting my shorts or my skirts to be shorter and my shirts to be tighter. It's like a look and a silhouette and the proportions of my body that I've always vibed with. And I think this conversation of desirability, there she is. This conversation of desirability at the top of this conversation is a valid point, but also I think the fashion girlies do dress for the girls and the gays.
Yeah. I just don't like it being conflated with empowerment, as if being able to dress half naked anywhere we want without suffering any consequences that just have to do with context, all of a sudden that is going to be the advocacy that we take on for equality.
But
that is not going to work. But I don't like being, and nobody's trying to show you their body parts all the time when you go to the grocery store.
Well,
I see it all the time.
Hypersexualized.
Don't look at
celebrities,
it.
You know, look at magazines,
It is
TV
my
shows,
right,
movies.
the media.
Yes, it's been around for a very long time.
It's just don't call it empowerment in that way without recognizing very real that that's an individual level empowerment. That is extremely white middle class privilege.
Do you have a story or a question?
Stay with us because I got a lot to say about the slut shaming fashion police. We're talking about slut shaming when women in public places are being shamed about what they're wearing in a public place, whether it's exposing their shoulders, their breasts, and we're talking about employees who say, nah, you can't wear that. I'm going to get you a shirt. Here's your shirt. Cover up or you're out of here. Okay, you don't have a jacket? I don't have a jacket. Okay, here's your jacket. Wear it. This is unacceptable here. I got a lot to say. Here's the last clip.
Is this office attire?
Absolutely not.
Things are situation specific, right? You wear something to the beach that you don't wear to the office.
I'm looking at some of these dresses, and first of all, you are absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
I adore what you're wearing, and I think you are as sexy in what you're wearing right now and as desirable in what you're wearing right now
Thank you.
as you are in this picture here where they had to blur out your chest.
Yes.
Now, if you're wearing that out in
And
public...
by the way, we didn't blur that out. The FCC says we have to blur that out. And,
So,
I just want to say, we're not passing a judgment. We're just following a rule.
Don't worry.
Right. So you're wearing this out in public, and even though that's not an office attire, I don't consider that appropriate in public.
Okay.
I think that's the kind of thing that you should wear around your own home, because I think society shouldn't be forced to look at someone's breasts. And even if you're not at the office, you're giving away a lot in these pictures. And while you're stunning, to me, I don't think the rest of the world should be forced to see that when you're out in public.
So that picture is obviously blurred out, but in person, you could not see anything. I had covers on over that, so absolutely no part of my actual breasts were out.
And your cheeks? Over there?
My butt cheeks were out
your
there.
hiney hangs out in public.
Well,
okay.
I was in Italy in that picture, so again, I think the norms over in Italy are definitely a little bit different than what we're seeing here. So again, I stand by everything I wear. I think that's a beautiful dress. I mean,
Okay, let me ask the audience here. Any reactions to this?
Hi, I'm Layla Keo, and personally, I think that women shouldn't be over-sexualized just for what they wear, and I feel like women should be given the freedom of choice, and no one should be looking at her thinking that's too sexual, she can't be in public. I feel like women should have the freedom to wear whatever they want, whenever they want.
Okay. But hang on, Layla. She does wear it because she wants to be looked at. Right, you said you want to be desirable.
I didn't say that. I said my clients come to me and want glamorous, desirable looks. Honestly, my body is for me. It's only for me. It's not for other people to gawk and stare. You know, that's something that we're taught at a very young age. Don't point, don't stare. So, I mean, I wore this suit and I've been around men all day. I've had no one look anywhere but my eyes. So,
because you're covered. And to think.
Well, hang on a second.
Okay.
But I want to learn here because you say that your clients want to look desirable and attractive, right?
Yes.
Now, define attractive. The root of that word is attract, as in attention. So are they spending the money and the time to put all of this on so people don't look at them?
Well, they're doing it to feel good about themselves. That's overall what I've been hearing from feedback.
Are they not wearing this to draw attention? I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Even if they were, to feed into this, even if they were doing it to grab the attention of the opposite sex or whoever,
or
that's
other women
okay.
who say, wow, look.
Exactly. First of all, in fashion.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No,
I'm
not saying you are either. And I think, honestly, too, in fashion, you'll also hear women dress for other women mostly, because sometimes men just don't understand
that's why I said women.
So
I got to jump in here. As a woman, I have never dressed for another woman a day in my life.
But I'm also saying in fashion, you hear this. I dress for myself. I dress for no one else. Let's make that clear. No man, no woman, no one. I dress for myself always.
Yeah,
always.
But I got to jump in here because it seems like a contradiction.
I'm not contradicting myself.
Because if you're putting the notion out there that and you and your clients are dressing a certain way so that you can showcase the side of you, so that you can look desirable. You've mentioned multiple times you want to look desirable. That people
What's wrong with
let me get my thought out.
No,
let me get my thought out. Her desirableness, her ability to be attractive is dependent on what somebody else views them, and on the basis only of their physical being. I want to follow up on this audience member who had a good point there. She said that nobody should look at a woman, no matter how sexualized her outfit is, in a sexual response. But that's to defy biology. You know, when you're wearing an outfit like this, what you're putting out there.
You can't just say, just because she's wearing something like that, she wants all the male attention. It's a false statement.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link.
When we come back, stay with us, because I got a lot to say. You know, throughout this hour, we've been talking about slut shaming / fashion policing, and it's all about the women. So I have a lot to say out there. So they've had their chance to speak. They've all had their chance to speak. So somebody needs to speak for every single woman who has been dress coded and felt shamed. Somebody needs to speak for that girl who was in Disney World and got slut shamed. Someone needs to speak for those cheerleaders who was slut shamed for their uniforms when it was in the dress code. So that's me. I'm going to speak for you guys, for all the women there who have been slut shamed. You are beautiful. You are beautiful in and out. You're beautiful by how you wear, how you look, how you wear and how you look. If you want to dress for yourself, it's the choice that you make. And I may say that's a nice dress, that's a beautiful dress, that's an awesome dress. Looks good on you. That's a compliment. Like, listen, I am all about complimenting women, no matter what. I love to make everybody's day. Period. Like, if you guys, like, every day with a great song every day. We don't need to be having dress codes in schools and public and amusement parks that just flat out say women can't wear tank tops, women can't wear shorts, Daisy Dukes. There needs to be equalization for all men and women. Meaning, if women can't wear tank tops, men can't wear this. I realize now that schools create dress codes for one reason. To prevent distractions in the educational process. And after watching that viral video from Disney World, I think, in my opinion, Disney is slut shaming a woman. I mean, what the safety issue going to do with clothing? Like, if I stuck my clothing on a piece of roller coaster, then I'm exposing my whole shirt. I'm exposing my outer shirt. Like, I understand there's a rule saying like no shoes, no shirt, no service. There ain't no excuse. We need to treat women nice. We need to treat this. We're all equal. We're every man, woman, and child. We're all created equal. We have one God above. God created woman on a good day. Some like to cook. Some like to dance. But every one of them likes a little romance. He made them all great in different ways. It's something for a boy to appreciate. Now that's a Tracy Lawrence quote right there. And incidentally, I agree from what every member of this Dr. Phil audience has said. Women should have the right to dress whatever they want. And us men need to understand that we ought to understand we have eyes. Our eyes have muscles to look up, down, left, right, and all around. But when I hear dress code, when I hear research that says dress code is treating men like pigs, I'm sorry, that's crossing the line right there. If we have equal rules for all, like boys can't like I don't want Disney creating policies to where if I want to go to Disney World, I want to go there for a great time. Like if I want to bring my girlfriend to Six Flags and she wants to wear whatever she wants, hey, I'm down for it. You may say, are you going to be dressed up like her? No. I'll be perfectly happy or fine the way she dresses. We should wear whatever we want. And there ain't nowhere you go to sign out. So they must say that Disney is being immature. And the next time you guys go to Disney World, you women out there go to Disney World, I want you to be wearing what she wore to Disney World. I want you to get pissed off at Disney for enforcing this policy. Go on TikTok, get pissed off, and wear it. It's your own body. I'm proud of what I'm wearing. I may wear blue and peach, red and blue. I can wear whatever the hell I wear. And there ain't no person in here, and there ain't no women in here that can slut shame me. Because I'm proud of what I wear. I dress for myself. And for work. I am proud of what I wear. Every damn day of the week. whether it's red or blue, 2 button-down shirts. I am my own person. I can dress however I want to dress. If I decide to go out, in public nude, that's my choice to make, which I ain't gonna do. But if it's my decision, hell, I'll make my decision. Because look, I'm already tan. If I want to get more skin, I go get more sun by taking off my shirt and go get more tan. That's my choice to make. It's my body, my choice. Which is the new goal throughout this season. It's your body and it's your choice to make. So the bottom line is, stop sexualizing women. Let them wear whatever they want. Let's not go back to the 60s and 70s. This is 2022. Are we going to go back to the days women can't vote? Hell no. Everybody in the United States of freaking America has the right to vote on whoever's the next president or the next governor, whoever. Everybody, every man, woman, and child has the right to do whatever the hell they want. And no one do you go to sign out. It is your right, your choice, your freedom. Your freedom of speech has been bought by ordinary citizens that joined the freaking military, and I proudly salute to them. Again, the bottom line is, my body, my choice. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Saturday going into Sunday. We will see you again for Give Me a Break Monday. For all of us here at Give Me a Break on YouTube, stop bullying, speak up, and remember, my body, your choice. My body, my choice. Good night, everyone.